We've been experimenting with different ways of being in touch with different constituencies on campus. The staff are a really important piece of the educational activities of the campus, and ever since I came to the campus I've had lunches with staff, but we've kind of redesigned that so that we have a chance to come together with a somewhat larger group, and we've tried to have a topic to talk about. So today the topic was the metropolitan vision of the campus, the idea that the campus can have a real impact on this metropolitan region of Southeast Michigan that we serve. And I have to tell you, it was just a great conversation. We had 15 to 20 members of the staff from all over the campus, and there were so many good ideas, good reflections, good thoughts about how the campus can increase its degree of metropolitan impact. Everybody in the room was really engaged. They were really enthusiastic about the idea that the investment that our society has made in the university is best repaid by really dedicating ourselves to having the kind of impact on Southeast Michigan that we are able to have. So in other words, there's an awful lot of buy-in in this particular group of people, from admissions, from engineering, from school of management, from all over the campus. Quite a lot of buy-in in the basic idea that the university can dedicate a lot of its intellectual capital to trying to help to solve some of these problems that we face. For me, that was the number one takeaway. Probably another important takeaway of the conversation is something that we all recognize, that the greatest impact we can have on the campus is by educating, and educating well, the generations of students who pass through this campus. So in other words, our alums in Southeast Michigan are the biggest piece of impact that we can possibly have. And there was a lot of conversation around the table. For example, could we have more impact by having more distance education? Could we make use of the internet more in education to make our learning opportunities more available throughout the region? That was a very good piece of the conversation. We also talked about some of the opportunity programs that we've got on the campus. Women in Leadership and Learning, for example. The WILL program, which is a way of reaching out to, especially women, though it's not specific to women, reaching out to young adults who need to have that second opportunity to get to university and to learn the skills and achieve the education that will allow them to have successful, productive careers. Universities across the country have a real variety of ways that they talk about themselves. You always hear about excellence, but only a small number of universities, a fraction of the universities, pay a lot of attention to service to the region in which they find themselves. A metropolitan university is a university that really devotes a lot of its energy, a lot of its human capital to the idea of high-end service to the region that they live in. And what kind of service am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about faculty research, for example. I'm talking about student service through organizations like Habitat for Humanity. I'm talking about the ways in which faculty and staff can support community organizations which are working to improve conditions of all sorts of conditions. Conditions for kids in public schools through tutoring programs, conditions for older people, conditions for all the different organizations in the city which are trying to provide services and which can really use the volunteer support of people from the university. Dearborn is finding its way of achieving impact in a lot of different areas. One of the big issues that our region faces is the continuing topic of racial discrimination and racial inequalities. Our campus has found some ways of collaborating, for example, with New Detroit. One of the activities I find the most exciting on the campus right now is the conversation on race, which usually takes place in Kochoff Hall here in the University Center. It's a way of bringing young people together to talk honestly and openly and in a learning mode about the issues of race that our society faces. Sometimes it's about black-white issues, sometimes it's about issues having to do with the ways in which Arab American young people are treated in America. In other words, there are a lot of different topics that we've addressed, but this is a way of actually using the talent of the university to stimulate some processes of change which really can then extend out into our community. One of the things I find very encouraging about the future of the region is the fact that the Road to Renaissance effort is now well underway. This is an effort that has been pushed forward by Detroit Renaissance. The 1D collaboration among 6 major community organizations, those efforts are well underway. For the first time, we seem to have in the region a real sense of the importance of collaboration, the importance of identifying a few manageable tasks, and then go after those goals with energy and with conviction and with follow-through. I think that 1D and Road to Renaissance are really making some impact and have the promise of making a lot more impact in areas like the Aerotropolis, on the Talent Initiative, educating young adults in the region, the effort to create a creative corridor. There are a bunch of activities that Road to Renaissance is trying to push forward, and which I think can have the promise of really making a difference in this region. Something I always feel when I step into the university center is that when you want to know what a metropolitan university is, you can just walk through the university center anytime between 11 o'clock in the morning and 5 in the evening, and then off into the evening hours, and just see the diversity, the talent, the energy, the enthusiasm of the students who come to Dearborn. As I look around this hall today, I see students that I've met through conversations with the Chancellor, through other kinds of student organizations coming and talking with the Chancellor. I see some of the really talented people in this region right here at Dearborn interacting, dealing with each other, figuring out how to make a difference in the region. I find that really inspiring, and I feel that whenever I step into this building.